Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're on the Thairish Sun. It's another glorious day here in Koh Samui, and today we're going to have a little change of pace because I'd like to talk to you about road safety, the rules of the road here in Koh Samui, and what you can expect in terms of etiquette. Hopefully this will be an informative video and helpful to those of you who are hoping to come to Samui in the future, rent a car, rent a bike, so that you can know what to expect on the road. But as always, this is just my opinion.
Please subscribe.
So if you're coming in for the first time and you have a North American or European standard of driving in your head, then you might find that the roads here are a little lawless. But it's lawless in the most friendly way imaginable. This is a tropical island and you'll see very little road rage or anger on the streets. And by Thai standards, which is amongst the worst in the world for road deaths, it's very, very safe. So to the letter of the law, yeah, it probably is quite lawless. But it doesn't take long to be here to adapt to Samui's standard of driving and the new set of rules. Okay, so I'm here right outside the Nathon police station. You'd imagine if people were going to pay attention to the rules, they might do so while they were passing a police station. So what we're going to do, and we're going to do this at 3 or 4 different places, maybe even 5 across the island. We're going to stop and we're just going to count the first 20 bikes that go past, or the first 20 bikes that we see, and see how many of the people are or aren't wearing helmets. And the reason we're going to do this in 4 or 5 different locations is just to show that I haven't deliberately picked a spot where they either are or aren't wearing them, and we'll get a fair average. Okay, so there's our first bike, no helmet. Got a guy coming here, or a lady, that's 1-1. And we got another one with no helmet, so we're 2-1 up for the no helmets. We prefer to do all this in one take so that you can see I'm not trying to set things up here. 2 people on this bike, that makes it 4-1, and the guy behind them has a helmet, so that's 4-2. Counting to 20. Has a helmet, that's 4-3. Both of these guys have helmets, so the helmets take the lead, 5-4. This gentleman is wearing, this might be a lady, my apologies, that lady was wearing one. So we go 6-4 in favour of helmets here, but we already have another person coming, and it's 6-5. 7-5, helmets are winning, pretty even. Bit of a lull in traffic all of a sudden. Here comes one. What was that, 8-5? 8-6? I lost count. I think we're at 8-6. This guy's going to be 8-7. So based on the first 15 bikes that have gone past here, very, very even mix. 2 people on that bike, one did, one didn't. That, what, 9-7 is it? That guy did, 10-7. That guy does not, 10-8. 11-8. And one more bike, we got our 20 bike sample. And here we go, it's a lady. And it's going to finish 11. Oh, it's a man, 11-9. My telling sexes apart from the distance are obviously not good. And you can see, seeing as there was some with 2 people on them, we'll include this lady. 11-10 for Nathon, final score. So in terms of renting a car, a lot of the companies that would be available in Europe are also here. They're based up near the airport, and I think some of them actually do deliver if you make the order. But anytime I've needed a car, I've come to a place like this, a small family-run, usually Thai-owned business with just 2 or 3 cars. You can barter and talk about what price you want. You can also bounce them off each other. Say the guy down the road is only charging this and that. And if you drive around, you're going to see lots of signs that say bikes for rent, cars for rent. You can go in and you can try and negotiate a good deal. And if you're taking a car for a month, the price is going to come down significantly. You'll probably pay less than 50% of what you pay on a daily rate, I would imagine. So you do need to barter. They're not going to give it to you. That's something I've struggled with myself, especially when I first came to Thailand. I just want to know the price. Just tell me the price, and if it's a good price, if I'm interested, I might buy it off you. If I'm not interested, I won't. From time to time, if you want a bargain, you need to negotiate. Bikes are even easier to find. In fact, they're 10 a penny. So renting a motorbike in Thailand is incredibly easy. These shops are all over the place. In fact, you don't even have to go to a specialist shop. In most cases, your hotel or a restaurant or a massage parlour or a Thai person you know will have a bike that's for rent. If the hotel you're staying in doesn't rent motorbikes, then the place next door almost certainly will. And renting them's very, very easy. You just turn up with the money and your passport. Some of them will ask to keep your passport, others will ask for a deposit. If you know the person, they won't even ask for that. And the whole procedure's done in sort of 5 or 6 minutes. You go in, you sign a piece of paper, they take a copy of your passport and you're on your way. Now, when I first came to Thailand, I heard horror stories about the people renting these motorbikes and how that they were all shysters, and that they would deliberately rent you a motorbike that was falling apart just so that when you got down the road, they could charge you for it, or they'd try and cover up scratches or other such problems with the bike and not tell you about them, so that when you returned it, you'd have a big problem, a big bill, and then they'd call up the police, who of course would take their side. I've never seen this happen in all the years that I've been in Thailand. I've never seen this happen. These people are generally just fair business people that are renting bikes. A piece of advice that I would give though, so if you're renting a motorbike, just take it out on a quick test run first, make sure you're getting a good one, that the brakes work, the speedo, the lights. And one tip that I do have is check the kickstart. Get a bike that has a nice kickstart, just in case you do need to fire her up the old-fashioned way, and then you're not going to be lumbered in the middle of nowhere. Alright, so we're now in Maenam, and we're going to do our 20 bike count right now. There's the first guy, 1-0 to the no helmets, 2-0 to the no helmets, 2-1, 3-1, no helmet. These guys are going to even things up to 3 apiece. Now, in all honesty, there's not a great deal to do in Maenam. I've stayed here before, and you have the waterfall that's advertised just there, and there is a beach. And there's some not bad Farang food to be had as well, to be fair. These 2 people are going to make it 5-3 to the helmets, 6-3 to the helmets. There's not a huge amount of bikes passing by, so forgive me for the slowness this section. 5-4, 5-5, 6-5, helmets are winning. 7-6 to the non-helmets. 8-7 to helmets. So again, like we found and this guy coming down is going to make us 8-8. These girls are going to make it 10-8 to the no helmets, and this guy 11-8. So again, as we saw in Nathon, a fairly even split, 12-8. The no helmets definitely winning this round. So this would be like the outskirts of Chaweng. If you really want to go into Chaweng, you need to get off the main road, go left. And we're not going to do that today. Just want to show you, this is the busiest part of the road. Sometimes the traffic, especially when there were still tourists, the traffic would go all the way up sort of in the Maenam sort of area. At the moment it kind of keeps tipping away, and you can keep moving, especially on a bike. Traffic isn't usually a problem on a bike anyway, but this is definitely the busiest stretch of the entire island in the Chaweng Beauport area.
So as you can see, Samui operates almost exclusively on a single lane system, with the exception of a small section of the road in the northwest, which we'll look at in a minute. Now on the quieter western side of the island, that allows for plenty of safe overtaking opportunities, but on the more congested east side, it can lead to the occasional driver making erratic and dangerous overtakes, so it is worth being wary of that.
Alright, so we're here at, you can see there in the background, the passage on the northwest of the island. So we leave at the passage, and the reason I'm highlighting that is because this is the one section of the entire island that is actually a dual carriageway. So you can see this is the only part of the entire island that's got 2 lanes on either side. Now I don't know the reason for this decision. Nice. That's wonderful. You can see we're back to a single lane system here now in Bang Po. So I used to live in Phuket, and one of the main reasons I left was because it was no longer fun to drive around. When I first got to Phuket, one of my favourite things to do was drive around and get the wind in my hair. still had the hair then. But in no time, the enforcement of Western type laws, massive police presence, police checkpoints all over the place, and lots of roadworks and the traffic that they caused, red lights everywhere as well. As soon as the exact opposite of that, there's still lots of sort of dirt tracks and mountain roads, countryside areas, and there are very few red lights. We went there in episode 3 and again on New Year's Eve. So this is an interesting little talking point in terms of the roads on Koh Samui. This traffic light is always flashing red. It never goes green or yellow, and people are left, which I like. You see this a lot in Thailand. People are left to use their common sense. You know, they need to drive up to it and display a little bit of caution. Everyone's getting through, but there's frequently traffic coming from there, or people turning onto it, and we make it work, you know, we make it work.
There's also very few roundabouts. I can only think of 2. One's beside Central Festival in Chaweng, and this is the other one in between Lamai and Nathon on the west side of the island.
So the Tesco Lotus and Home Pro are just there. Macro and Big C are just back that way a little bit. Seems like a good spot to do our next 20 people, see whether they're wearing helmets. Here we go. 2-0 to the no helmets, 3-0 to the no helmets. 3-1, 3-2, 4-2. This one shouldn't take as long because this is a busy part of the road. I'm just going to count people that actually go past us. So 4-3, 5-3 to the no helmets, 6-3 to the no helmets. I don't know if you saw that girl or not, but I did. 7-3 to the nose. These guys are about to come and make it 9-3. This lady's going to make it 10-3 to no helmets. 11-3, 12, 13-3. So as you can see, round here, none of them people were wearing helmets. 14-3. This lady is wearing one. 14-4, 15-4, 15-5, 16-5. We're over 20 people, and you can see that in this part of the island at least, predominantly people are not wearing their helmets. Okay, so we're back in Lamai, and where that guy just turned, you can see that there is a sign that says no left turn, or no turn left. See there, no left turn, and you also see someone coming from the other side of the road and turning onto it. And here's another gentleman turning left, and another one turning left. And there's a guy on the other side of the road turning into the right. So, I mean, I've made my point. This is a one-way street, or it's supposed to be a one-way street, but these are Samui rules of the road. So down here is where we're going to go now. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this left and show you exactly how things are a little bit different here in Samui to back home. So here we go. I'm going to take this left that we're not supposed to take. And you'll see no one's going to get angry about this. I'm sorry if the wind's bad, but no one's going to get angry about this or say anything to us. It's completely normal what we're doing. And then if we encounter any traffic, you will see that we don't really get any reaction. Sorry again for the wind. Doesn't look like we're going to meet any traffic. On our left there, the Gal Badger, which we've plugged on this channel before for the breakfasts. And on the right, we just went past all the girly bars. A few more bars here. Most of them aren't opening at the minute. So the sign isn't actually here today, but you are not allowed to turn left here either. This is another, basically, where is the sign? There isn't one today, but can I take that for a second, love? So where we're at right now, there's Tom's Bakery, which we've also plugged on the channel before. So right now you're allowed to go down there, and you're allowed to turn right, and you're allowed to go back up the road that we were just on, obviously. But what you're not supposed to do is head down here to the left, and then everyone does it anyway, and it's exactly what we're about to do, just to prove a point again that the rules of the road here are not the same. So on this occasion there are actually cars coming towards us, but you'll see they're not going to overreact. Back home, can you imagine someone driving the wrong way down a road, no helmet on, the reaction they'd get from the passers-by? So you can see behind me there's another man, no helmet on, not even turned his indicator off. And he's also coming the wrong way down the road with us here. But here it's a normal thing, and it's seen as none of their business what I'm doing or what anyone else is doing. Now this is a section of one-way street that actually does get obeyed here in Koh Samui. Coming round now to the Nathon pier. So the road in front of us is one way in the opposite direction. We have to swing around here to the left. It brings us down to the Citran and Lamai piers. This seems like as good a place as any to not only end it, but first let's do our 20 bike head count. Are people wearing helmets, or are they not wearing helmets in the Lamai area? So our first 3 not wearing helmets, our first 4 not wearing helmets. That's 6-0, no helmets. We won't count the lady with the side bike, but the other guy, 7, 8 to 0. There's a lady here coming, 9-0. 2 guys on that bike, 11-0. This lady's got a helmet on, that's 11-1. 12-1. This gentleman over here will be 13-1. That lady's got one on, that's 13-2. 13-3. 14-4. How about this? 4 for 1. 18-4, 19-4, 21-4, 23-4. In Lamai, helmets are not a priority. 25-4. So there you have it, lads. Far from the definitive guide, but hopefully enough to give you an idea of what to expect if you come to Samui. If you like what you saw in this video, please do consider pressing subscribe. We're trying to grow this little channel. New video coming out again next week. Take care of yourself, guys, and see you then.